Hey people! Today I'm going to be watching Crusader Kings 2.0 review. You cannot afford Family Edition trademark by SsethTzeentach. Let's check it out in the count of 3, 2, 1, go!
Hey people, Seth here.
Wait a second!
Hey people.
I love this already. Black Future. Huh. I love the Felix. I love Felix body, like having a Seth body pillow, because that totally makes sense. And what is this? What the what? What is this? What is going on?
Seth here. Today, I'll be covering a game which really tests the limits of my ADD medication. A game where you can grow an empire, watch it prosper.
This looks exactly like EU4.
Only to stub your toe, die from an infection, and watch your empire dissolve because you have no idea how inheritance works. Catch cancer, beat cancer by praying it away. Thanks God. Spend money, invest into...
I love the cancer reference.
Praying it away. Thanks God. Spend money, invest into your own people. Lose your money, go heavily into debt. Borrow money from the Jews. Consider paying them back. Keep it instead by expelling the Jews from your country. Don't feel bad about it. We've been expelled so often, you really won't hurt our feelings if you do it again.
I love this. I love this. I love this so much. Jewish. I love it. I love it.
Marry your sister. Divorce your sister because she's too old. Marry her daughter instead. Turn your family tree into a family circle. And watch your dynasty burn to the ground as your children collect every chromosome known to man. Of course, I'm talking about the most prolific, complex, and intricate...
Lack of DNA diversity basically kills them. Not kills them, like deforms them to insanity.
Man. Of course, I'm talking about the most prolific, complex, and intricate medieval incest simulator on the market. Intricate medieval...
Oh my god, at the age of 4...
simulator on the market today. Crusader Kings 2. Crusader Kings 2 is a game covering nearly 700 years of human history, during which time we treated each other very, very well. Religious tolerance was at an all-time high. Human life was short and painful, and a man amputating your leg could probably also trim your beard. In other words, the good old days.
Happens
but
in
with
outer
modern
words.
Technology, those good old days can be experienced all over again from the perspective of a single person you pick from the world map, who is then forced to live through your terrible decisions. CK2 falls under the definition of grand strategy, which might lead you to believe it's a strategy game. In truth, grand strategy is neither grand nor strategic. You just paint the map with color crayons and then upload your meme image of a Holy Roman Empire onto Reddit for those sick upvotes. Grand strategy is to strategy what Doom is to the field of literature. Doom is not a very good book. In fact, it's not a book at all. So don't feel intimidated. This game is actually just a very simple Excel spreadsheet with a lot of poor UI scaling. But that's not the point of it. The point is the characters, which behave as uncontrollable agents of chaos that act and react to everything you do, often in the most unpredictable, illogical, and insane way possible. In other words, they act exactly like humans. But what is your object? Words, they act exactly like humans. But what is your objective in Crusader Kings 2? Well, the same objective as every human being. As Oscar Wilde once said...
Was that a lizard?
Well, the same objective as...
What is that? I mean, it looks good. It looks... Oh my god. Anything near a fire, if it gets enough smoke, it's gonna taste smoky and delicious.
Every human being, as Oscar Wilde once said, everything in the world is about sex. Except sex. Sex is about power. Power, everything in the world is about sex.
Why is that a pig? Oh my god!
Sex.
Oh, never mind.
Is about power.
I was like,
power
source, but
is what you're ultimately trying to gain. And in the medieval world, there are only two ways of reaching that power: war and marriage.
Wait a second. Wait a second. What? Why is World of Warcraft here? Is that Grash? What horde? What is going on? For the horde.
Two ways
What is
of
going
reaching that
on?
power: war
Oh,
and
it's
marriage.
brilliant.
Essentially, you're sleeping your way to the top, and in the process, you pray you don't get poisoned, cucked, or inbred before your genes can pass on to the next generation. If you fail to preserve your bloodline, your dynasty ends and the game is over. You can't just pass on your genes, you gotta look after them too. Unless, of course, your seduction skills are
What the fuck is going on? Why is Murlocs in this game?
look after them too. Unless, of course, your seduction skills are so high that every woman in a 100-kilometer radius is already knocked up with your kids. Children aren't exactly the best at staying alive. Your child, 100-kilometer radius, is already knocked up with your kids. Children aren't exactly the best at staying alive. Your child could be killed during a mass archery incident by some madman armed with an automatic crossbow, or simply smothered by his own pillow by his own mother holding the pillow.
No fucking way! Oh my god, what the fuck?
So, much like stocks and investment, I recommend diversifying. Much like stocks and investment,
Rating, oh god. Oh my god, this is so fucked up.
I recommend diversifying your assets. Luckily, the same applies to your potential rivals.
But it's basically, your kids are basically your stock in your country. Oh my, that's fucked up.
Luckily, the same applies to your potential rivals. One of my favorite things in this game is performing late-term abortions. Now, infanticide is not something.
Late-term abortions. What the fuck? So basically killing kids.
I support. It's something I recommend. Remember, if you can't kill your enemies today, you can still destroy them tomorrow. Whether or not your dynasty can survive entropy and uncertainty will depend on how tactfully you can balance the needs and wants of your realm, which is completely impossible. Your vassals always want more land, your wife always wants more jewelry, and your brother always wants more of your wife. Try to satisfy everyone, and you'll end up satisfying no one, which is why the secret to a long reign is disposing of everyone who doesn't like you. After that, you're safe,
oh my
secure,
god,
and absolutely at the mercy of this game's RNG system. Aside from conscious actions, schemes, and intrigue, this game is actually played by hitting the spacebar and letting time flow by. What does time hold in store for you? Surprises. A lot.
Is Brotherhood of the Horse. After the recent defeat of a Stormwing, the Brotherhood of the Horse, the Order of the Best Knight of a Stormwing, was disbanded. Most of members of Brotherhood fell in the last battle for their kingdom. Those who survived this chaos are now in exile, with the hope of one day returning home. This is amazing. So there is literally a mod for the World of Warcraft, like a structure and characters and like factions in this. I want to play this. Is this Azeroth though?
A lot of surprises, and you're gonna hate every single one.
He ordered the, oh my god, the Order of Silverhand.
99%
Holy
of the
fuck.
gameplay is based on random events. Some are good, some are bad, and you're completely powerless to stop them. Having a great time? Not anymore. You've got the plague, you've got syphilis, you've got lover's pox from sleep.
What is lover's pox? Isn't chicken? I woke up with a painful itch. It seems I have oh my god.
With your maid, what do? Well, the only thing you can do, put your trust and faith in your doctor and hope for the best. Also, execute your maid for giving you what? Oh my god. STI. The doctor manages to cure your plague. A miracle. But the syphilis.
Allah. I saw that a small Allah happening. This is so fucking crazy. Like, I know why Seth's videos get demonetized or age restricted almost constantly now. Jesus Christ, this video is insane.
But the syphilis? That's gonna be a gift that keeps on giving. Thank your doctor. Then execute him for incompetence. Order a new doctor. He's insane, paranoid, and probably a spy from Imperial China. But you know what? He might just be the guy for the job. It turns out he wasn't.
Oh my god. This is one of the most scariest thing that people say sometimes happen. It's rare, but it happens. That you don't go under. Oh, oh, holy fuck.
The guy for the job, and 2 of your direct heirs are now dead. They found rice grains in their chamber, but no conclusive evidence. Oh well. Anyway, your spy master informs you that your doctor is trying to murder you. You confront him and make him feel very guilty about it. He agrees to stop trying to murder you. More of your children end up dead. Also, while you were battling a lifelong struggle with STIs, your wife was
STIs. I know it's like STD, but sexual interests. What? Ideologies?
having an affair with
Itches.
your other wife. Yeah, you've got 2 actually. God bless being a Muslim. Luckily.
Fuck.
Lesbianism is no risk to your dynasty. Yes, in Crusader Kings 2, having a homosexual wife is probably the best decision you could possibly make. But it doesn't save you, because your doctor just saved you from a life of sexually transmitted disease by killing you with a lethal dose of Chinese herbal remedies. So, try hard as you might, all your efforts will eventually come to ruin, you'll get cucked, and then you die.
Jesus!
Quit the game and start again. Ultimately, you're playing Crusader Kings 2 for the journey, not the outcome, and the stories you create in the process are unique to your experience. No game will go quite the same, which is why there's no reason for me to explain mechanics. Instead, let me share some stories.
Alright.
Once, I played as Charlemagne, king of the Franks. After my brother died of entirely natural causes, I was left to think on how I would conquer the rest of Europe. However, RNG interrupted my schemes. Just like that, I woke up one day, and I was
Homosexual. This character is a bit queer.
gay. Most unfortunate. However, fortunately
This
for
is
me,
amazing.
another man of immense power was simultaneously struck with homo lust, the Pope. And so, I seduced the Pope. Pope Stephanus III was an utterly geriatric recluse, but I knew deep down inside his soul, he was just misunderstood. I wrote him a romantic poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. I like penis, and so do you. My words reached him and had their intended effect inside his heart. And soon, I was inside the Pope. The
Love
church
him and
was
leave him.
oblivious to our forbidden love. They had no idea. Old Stephanus
Let our love grow. Vidi vici veni. This is
was
amazing.
aching for more than just back pain. Turns out it was very advantageous to have the Pope as your lover. Any piece
Yeah?
of Catholic land I wanted, he granted. In exchange for French sausage, I received the entire Christian continent. And that's the historically accurate account of how Charlemagne took Europe, by taking the Pope's ass. In another game, I played as the Polish
Factual,
because
historically
I enjoy
accurate.
being abused by my enemies and my supposed friends who need more land. How much more land? Well, however much I had. Luckily, the bubonic
Assholes.
plague began to ravage Europe. I lost most of my territory from before, so I didn't feel too bad about it. My peasants and their livelihood were now
Are becoming convicted that Jews are behind the recent epidemic. I'm convinced. Oh, I'm under increasing pressure from some condom that the Jews from other to protect them. What? I don't get that.
somebody
What that
else's
even
problem.
means.
Meanwhile, myself and my court went into hiding. The gates
Beautiful
were shut,
wife.
the keys were thrown away, until all of this boils over. However, we had another problem. Food. Or the lack of it. I didn't really think about that. I assumed every kingdom in the Middle Ages just had a Tesco Express around the corner. So we waited, we starved, and then we found an amazing solution. Why not?
Cannibalism?
Eat the rest of a court.
What?
I mean, they're not working anyway, so we did just that. that, and it was entirely sustainable because I kept repeatedly inviting beautiful women to join my court, to be consumed by the court. I'm not proud of what I did, but I did what I had to, which it turned out was completely unnecessary. Apparently, Poland was not affected by the Black Plague, and I sort of just freaked out and ate a lot of innocent people for absolutely no reason. Look, I'm not very good at this game. Luckily, such horrific events are unlikely in modern times because of modern healthcare and sanitation. However, if a plague did have to start somewhere...
Would you like to say a few... would you like to say a few words about, our mold?
Yes, stop filming it. That's what I want.
Jesus Christ, it's big!
Yeah, but,
Oh my
I'm not the
God!
one responsible for you guys leaving organic matter for so long that we have fluffy organic matter.
Well, I was about to get rid of it until you put it on display for the
That
world
is
to see.
so big!
That would
Stop it!
definitely-
Jesus, that's so disgusting! God! Ugh!
be inside my friend's apartment. For my last game, I decided to break his
Yeah, it was his voice! It
and
was his
play with
voice!
custom parameters. I designed it so every country was ruled by teenage girls aged 14 and over. It was pure chaos. It was a period of intense suffering. Also, I later found out I forgot to turn off Great Conquerors, so eventually, most of the known world was overrun by Genghis Khan and her teenage sorority. Luckily, she mostly left me alone. Unfortunately, even if I got a matrilineal marriage, heir succession laws would mean that any child I produce might try and overthrow me. I was screwed, figuratively. But once again, RNG tossed me a bone. Through intense meditation
Lucifer's
and
Owen.
satanic rituals, I became immortal. On the other hand, I also became an insane lunatic. And one day, in the style of Caligula, I replaced one of my counselors with a horse. I was, in fact... Yet I couldn't marry him. Our legal system was not advanced enough to consider human-horse relations. More importantly, the game didn't let me, so I used an exploit. I made my horse a bishop, and in the process of turning my pony into a priest, he automatically filled an entire kingdom with horses, which somehow could be married. So I married and made love to a horse, producing an entire royal line of children that had no concern for the decadent ways of man. They were pure and majestic. Their only concerns were eating carrots and shitting on the streets. At this point, my queen was like a bakery because
What the fuck?
she was getting bread. There's many stories to tell, but
Fuck you! That's so dumb! This is so fucking
you
dumb.
get the general idea. Every game you ever play will start with honest, sincere intentions, which will inevitably be corrupted and reduced to the most depraved and malicious acts you could ever conceive. But hey, it's fun. Of course, no game like Crusader Kings 2 is complete without multiplayer and friends, which always ends with everyone sleeping with your wife. This happens so often that I sleep with everyone else's wife, just in case.
Sounds like Seth is fucking every
Jesus
man's
Christ.
wife at the moment, so...
I'm only
Yes.
fucking free men's wives.
That's
And I
because
broke
there's only
up.
3 men available in this fucking country.
Multiplayer is great. Some of the best shenanigans take place in multiplayer, and luckily, only the host
Special girl.
has to have the 3 billion DLC packs necessary to make this game playable. The base game, much like a woman in her mid-40s, is a bit barren. You really need the
fuck.
DLC to add some basic features that is a bit barren. You really need the DLC to add some
Sons of Abraham. Holy shit. Wait, it goes that far back? You can be a prophet? The sword of Islam. Legacy of Rome, Sunset Invasion. Oh my god, that's Persia?
basic features that should have been in the base game. I think CK2 is a wonderful game, but it's also a game published by Paradox, which is why, even though I love it, I can't recommend it, because the whole damn thing costs around anything from $120 to $200. With that same amount of money, you can satisfy your daily caloric intake for 17 to 28 days on nothing but dollar menu cheeseburgers
Nice.
from McDonald's, one of the most basic and essential components to human life. But if you've got the
Wait, but who? Wait. Who was that? Sweet Yuki. This This is amazing.
If you've got the money to spare, go for it. Or just marry someone rich. Most people do it for a visa. You can do it for video games. Alternatively, there are ways to obtain the DLC. Southeast London, hole in the wall. Take the USB stick and don't look back. If you do, run. If you hesitate, I'm not responsible and I don't know you. Good luck. And if you're not fully satisfied, don't worry. There's an entire modding community out there.
Jewish immersion. This is so
To
good.
fix all your issues, and it's not too difficult to mod the game yourself. In my case, I was getting PTSD from all the death sounds, which play each time a family member bites the dust. Which, well, have a listen for yourself.
Oh. Oh my god, this is so fucked up. Stop it.
I think you'd agree these are a little bit unnerving, so I replaced every death sound with a bass-boosted sound clip of Lego Yoda. Now this is much more soothing to the ears. I don't even mind when people die now. It sounds great. Final score. I hope you enjoyed reading this essay as much as I enjoyed writing it. After playing this game for so long, I finally figured out its purpose. The primary goal of Crusader Kings 2, and perhaps life itself, isn't about living a good or bad life, it's about living an interesting life, and inevitably, to die an interesting death. So, you can
Yeah.
loudly proclaim on your deathbed, "Thank God, I didn't waste it all on a boring life." Once you're dead and buried, you won't just be a footnote in history. You'll be an interesting footnote in history. Take and do whatever you please in this life, because eventually it ends, and life can take anything and everything away from you, except your stories. So better make them interesting, because we're all heading towards the same destination. 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it.
Oh, that's
I
good.
think it's very interesting. However, I'm always filled with regret and a constant state of what ifs. What if I just spent all that money on cheeseburgers? Would I be happier? I don't know. I guess it would
Probably,
depend
Bill.
on whether the burgers were fresh or just the hot, stale
Why do you have a toothbrush in the bag?
garbage. Would I be happier? I don't know. I guess it would depend on whether the burgers were fresh or just the hot, stale garbage they leave
love
for a
it.
couple of
It's
hours.
an
As
automatic
always, more
toothbrush.
content to come, so stay tuned. A warm thanks to the
Electric.
many members of the Merchants Guild generously funded and bankrolling these videos. You're
This is
all
amazing.
truly wonderful. Have a good one.
Crush my cock with a rock I must. Maximum pain I must endure. Okay, here we go.
Oh my god. This is so crazy. Oh my god. Let's see what happens. Any after credit scenes. Come on. I love the background. That's the background for that. Wait, this back. I know this background. Wait a second. What is this from? So familiar. There was this game that it would make music from. It makes levels from your music. I think it's that one. Holy shit. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. See you all later.